I'm just gonna get the camera set.
We gonna be on camera
No
too?
purchase. No purchase.
Are we?
You're not, but the instructor and what's going on
It's
there.
all up.
Okay.
And come Tuesday.
On Tuesday, we'll be on camera?
And on the net.
Okay.
I'll be on the radio on Tuesday. So you guys will be on camera.
I'll tell my
That's
niece.
that. Imagine that. Okay. Good.
So what I could hit enter.
Go up to the top, here.
You,
The slide stuff?
Hmm?
So it's broadcast.
No, not yet.
So Wally, congratulations, but this was your baby. This is what you wanted to do.
you remember?
The rules and regulations, they don't really come from us per se. There are a number of governing bodies that we are responsible to in one fashion or another. FCC, FEMA, DHSES, which is the Department of Homeland Security, New York City's Office of Emergency Management, CUNY, CCNY, WHCR, and WHCR-EBT. So the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, which regulates all the interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable in all 50 states of the U.S. First and foremost, WHCR Radio, where we're situated here, is licensed by the FCC. So we clearly have to follow the FCC rules as it relates to broadcasting. We also have mobile radios, which I'm going to talk about in a little while, which are regulated by the FCC. So at all times, we have to be mindful of that and of their regulations. FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Their mission is to support our citizens and first responders, to ensure that as a nation we work together to build, sustain, and improve our capability to prepare for, protect against, respond, recover, mitigate all hazards. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially, FEMA coordinates a lot of partners that are involved: federal, state, tribal, local officials, private, nonprofits, to respond to disasters. The New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services was created in 2010, 4 offices: counterterrorism, emergency management, fire prevention and control, and interoperable and emergency communications. Provides leadership, coordination, and support for the efforts to prevent, protect against, prepare for, respond to, and recover from terrorism and other man-made natural disasters, threats, and emergencies. Check the camera one. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's FEMA. Next, we go to, I think OEM is next.
You could skip that with her.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well, there's OEM, another one of the agencies that we relate to and respond back and forth with. Matter of fact, we recently, Wally, our team leader here, recently got an award from OEM for outstanding service. So there's someone that that we relate to and kind of look, I don't know about all that, but someone that we relate to and interface with. And in fact, the chairman of OEM spoke at our recent summit back in September. We had an emergency preparedness summit for Harlem, and the keynote speaker was the Bruno, the chairman of OEM. CUNY City University of New York provides high-quality, accessible education to over 250,000 people, both degree students and continuing education. Clearly, we're part, as CCNY comes underneath the CUNY umbrella. CCNY is the flagship college of the City University, comprehensive teaching, research, and service institution. I don't have to go through the whole spiel, but quite a history here with CCNY, and we're very happy and proud to be part of it. Radio station WACR is a community radio station broadcasting from the CCNY campus that seeks to provide skills in communications and related disciplines to students here at the college and community members. WACR seeks to empower its listeners by providing informative, educational, and cultural programming that speaks to the diverse populations of Harlem, Upper Manhattan, and some sections of the Bronx, Queens, and New Jersey. The reason we're talking about these sections here, this is the actual broadcast footprint of the radio station. It covers all of Harlem, including Upper Manhattan, some sections of the Bronx, Queens, and New Jersey. But over and above that, WACR also streams live on the internet. So in fact, its potential reach is international and global. WACR Emergency Broadcast Team, that is the group here at City College that we have formed. We're a little over a year old now, and I'm going to be talking in a little more detail about what we do, but essentially we provide alternative communication links, information, and communication services to the Harlem community. Okay, so in a minute here, when we get the slide queued up, I'm going to talk about the actual history of WACR EBT.
Okay. Great. I have like a little cake because it's Bob's birthday, but I need some matches. And I know he's not here yet, but that's perfect. So it's at the reception desk. I don't know how to work it out. Are you doing the thing here, the training?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, you ready, Will?
yes.
WACR Emergency Broadcasting. Okay, I think you close it out there. Just hit enter button.
You hit enter. Hit enter again.
Enter or change page.
Okay.
WACR was created a little over a year ago in response to failures of New York City and WACR radio during Hurricane Sandy. Wally, can you adjust the projector? Oh, get the whole screen?
Oh, is that? Okay, so am I too far down?
No, yes.
Or I should go back?
Yes, please.
Um,
Anyway, during Hurricane Sandy, one of the things that happened was that the DJs and on-air personalities here at WACR were not all able to get to the station because of the weather emergency. So what the station had to do is essentially go on autopilot, playing programmed entertainment programming for the most part. And what we realized afterwards was that we missed an incredible opportunity to be able to provide valuable, potentially life-saving information to the Harlem community over the radio. So that was one of the things that occurred to us very glaringly after Hurricane Sandy. So what we did was we assembled an interdisciplinary team of 30-plus volunteers organized under the incident command system structure to begin to create WACR EBT.
That's where you want to go?
Mm-hmm. The mission of WEBT is to provide emergency preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery information to the Harlem community. The communication system is designed to be reliable, resilient, and redundant, and provide real-time news updates, alerts, and information and safety training during normal times. So in other words, the network that we're putting together in emergency times provides emergency information. But during non-emergency times, we are still up and running, and we are providing local news, updates, information, and safety training. Yes?
I can ask a question.
You can ask questions now?
So suppose you still can't make it to the radio station. Is there a mobile? Can you broadcast from your house? Can like it be working and then you can still connect from your house?
Okay, when you say you, are you talking about a producer or are you talking about a
Right.
viewer?
No, not a
Or
viewer. Whoever is trained, like whatever your group is, you know, like one of you.
Mhm. There are certain ways we cannot yet control the actual radio studio remotely, but what we can control remotely is we have various video streams that are on our website, on Facebook, and on Ustream, where we can do live and updated information from remote locations during emergency.
For example, you know the hurricane's coming, so you would like flip the switch and keep it on because you know this is the highest point. And then you, as supervisors, would leave.
Well, no, but we as supervisors would stay.
Okay,
We man, this is
Yeah.
our station where
Yeah.
we man.
okay.
Right. Well, one of the
So I'm
things
jumping ahead.
yeah, I'm going to get
Okay,
to the
thank you.
emergency command system.
All you have to do is tell me I'm jumping
Here.
ahead.
Okay. So, go ahead, Molly, if you could. So we have a number of strategic partners that are collaborating with us in this effort, including also the president of the university, Harlem Hospital, Citywide Disaster Service. Citywide Disaster Service is a mobile radio network group that provides emergency communications over mobile radio. During Hurricane Sandy that I talked about earlier, in the Rockaways, cell phone service, landline service, basically all communications went out. The only thing that worked, and I'm talking about for the police as well, they couldn't communicate. The only thing that did work was the handheld mobile radios. And Citywide Disaster played a big role in helping folks get through that whole trauma. New York City Office of Emergency Management, Harlem and the Bronx CERTs, Citizens Emergency Response Network. This is a community group that is headed up by Wally, that is really the precursor to WHCR-UBT, and they are really the founding member that pulled together all the team members and resources and pretty much came up with the idea of WEBT. We also work with New York City Housing Authority Resident Association groups, including the Bronx South District, Manhattan North District, and the Federated Resident District, which includes Upper Manhattan, all of Harlem, and the South Bronx. Digital Divide Partners is one of our technology partners that helps with the technology, the streaming technology, as is Streaming University.
Another question. Are you thinking about another hospital like St. Luke's or New York Presbyterian, because Harlem Hospital's in the flood zone?
Thinking about it, but we haven't actually reached out to them yet.
In actuality, we want to hit all the hospitals.
Okay, and it's Region Precinct in the flood zone too.
We want to hit all the hospitals, but you know, we at a starting point.
And the 2A precincts in the flood zone. I know because I live at the bottom of the hill.
Okay. This is a functional overview of WEBT. We host an emergency communications hub that connects the Harlem community with information resources. And back to your earlier question, that hub is right here. Okay. We utilize redundant and alternative communication networks and platforms to reach out and connect with the community. Partners include local constituent groups and stakeholders to create what we call the Harlem Emergency Broadcast Network. And while I go to the next slide, the Harlem Emergency Broadcast Network is essentially all the institutions and organizations and nonprofits out in the community that we are reaching out to create relationships with. From churches to resident associations to community centers, to transportation centers, cabs, tow trucks, buses, houses of worship, schools, etc.
Okay, I just want to expound on it a little bit. Getting back to your original question, we want to take these radios and have a network with these radios, along with the internet platforms, along with the broadcasting from next door to all of this. So, like you said, even if you can't get here, we will have a mobile command unit moving around that can get the information in and out where it has to go.
I'm getting these slides, right?
Yes, we're going to send you that. And do it today, or actually before we leave, if you'd like. So the Emergency Operations Center. In emergency, we rapidly deploy the equipment and we set up our Emergency Operations Center right here in this room at the studios, performance studios at WHCR. It includes handheld radios, phone hotline, text, and web communications. And we're also capable of continuously broadcasting on the radio station WHCR emergency information. The communication platforms, again, they're very redundant. We clearly have the radio station, 90.3 FM. We have a text messaging platform, which I'll talk about in a minute. We have the handheld radios. We have a website that includes a blog so that folks can talk back to us and give us information. We have social media, which includes Facebook and Twitter. We have live and archived video streaming, which the video streams occur on both Ustream and on our website and on Facebook. We have local community websites out in the community where we are tied into with our wireless network. We're creating something we're calling wireless technical campuses, starting with various NYCHA resident associations that we're partnering with, where we set them up so they have a direct wireless link to us, and as well as the handheld radio so that we can actually communicate directly to them and they to their various constituents in their housing development. We also, in some locations, have been able to deploy solar-powered, alternative power access points, so that in the event of a power blackout, the internet and intranet access is still working. Text.
No, I'm sorry.
The text messaging platform, we'd like you to subscribe if you haven't already. It's very simple. You send the text to the number 23559, and the message in the text is at WHCR EBT. Once you do that, you become a member of our text group, and we're able to send out a blast to everyone in the group at that time. It's a way for us to do targeted communications. And as you probably know, there are a number of instances where your cell phone voice service is not working, but your text still goes through. So we look at it as a really valuable platform. And we're also looking at creating different subgroups through the platform so that we can do targeted group blasts to resident leaders, churches, and other subgroups within our overall universe of the Harlem Emergency Broadcast.
This is just for the emergency, right?
Yes, for emergency and emergency-related information. I mean, it doesn't have to be, a hurricane per se. We've done it, weather warnings this past winter. We've done weather alerts, and we've done some transportation alerts when transportation systems were interrupted because of the weather. So we don't do it.
Cut it off.
No, we don't use it just to be talking to people. No, it's all emergency-related information.
I'll give you an example. That's why I told about the joke, the email. I signed up for the subway thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get 100 subway things every day.
Wow.
The 2 line, the 3 line, the sick passenger.
Mhm.
That's too much.
Yes.
Okay, and every now and then, unfortunately a guy got killed Friday on the 2 line. That's important, 2 or 3. But the sick passenger,
Yeah, I need to know.
at 100, that's
No.
how I got 10,000.
We might do 2 or 3 a month.
All right, just did.
Okay, the handheld radios. Wally talked a little bit about them. During Hurricane Sandy and tornadoes in Oklahoma, cell phone service, landline service, and the internet were all compromised. Your handhelds were the only thing working. So we partnered with Citywide Disaster Services, whom I mentioned earlier, for radio training and support. We currently have a repeater here at the college that sends out our signal so that we have connectivity and an actual footprint that reaches South 96th Street, river to river, and up to the tip of Manhattan. Our website is whcrebt.org. There are a number of things on the website. We have information on the text alert subscription. We have Twitter announcements that actually show up on the website. We have emergency alert video streams on the website. We have links to New York City emergency broadcast channels. There's a blog, again, for folks to talk back to us. There's a map of the evacuation center and other emergency services links. Additionally, the site is multilingual. You just tap on the translate button, and you can go to dozens of different languages. Social media platforms include Facebook and Twitter. One of the things that you might say, oh, why do I need to be on Facebook during an emergency? Well, there was an example of not too long ago, there was a big disaster in New Zealand, a weather-related disaster. And the police and the first responders, their cell phone service and their landline service went out. The only way they were able to communicate was via Facebook. So the whole point is, during an emergency or disaster, you never know what platform is going to work or not work. So you want to have as many options as you can. It's called redundancy. So that's one of the reasons why we maintain social media, both Facebook and Twitter. It's a way for us to connect one to many. It's also a way for folks to talk back to us about what's going on out in the community. Video streaming, I mentioned that. We stream live from the radio station. We also are setting up streams on the website and on Facebook that talk specifically to emergency preparedness information. And in a disaster, we're able to stream live on those platforms as well as on Ustream. So we're also working, again, I mentioned the wireless technical campuses and Housing Authority resident leaders. We're setting up a two-way stream so that they can talk back to us via video stream and we to them. You might say, why New York City Housing Authority? Well, the population there is as large as the city of Boston or the city of Atlanta. And as many of you know, it's also an extremely underserved population. And in emergencies, oftentimes the last folks to get attention. So we are moving them up to the top of our priority list and establishing as many communication links with them as we can. The wireless technical campus, I kind of talked about that already. This is an example of a workstation at one of the wireless community campuses located in a resident association office. This is their monitoring station where they monitor what's going on. So essentially, we're here asking for your support, as well as providing this training. But we need you to come back and follow through on all the other courses. Subscribe to the text alert group, and tell your friends about the training and what we have here. And after your training, we want you to stay involved and participate in all the other ongoing activities that we will have throughout the year. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Walter.
What's your last name?
Reed, R-E-I-D.
Okay. Oh, Stuart, this is sign language for applause.
Oh, thank you. I should have known that. My sister knows sign language. She keeps telling me that I need to learn it.
So when you're in a group, when you have, like you're in a conference, and I just came from John Maxwell training, and each table had to do speaking. So instead of just applauding somebody, each person, we just did like that, and that's how they got there.
That's nice. I like that.
That's very good because signs are sometimes are really, really necessary. And like you said, that's a good thing. Plus, clapping is distracting. And go to
What that out again? What again? WBT?
and then go to trains. Okay, safety. Okay, so we believe in safety first before anything else. Before we get involved in anything, safety is primary. One of the things I just want to say before I forget, and I have to take care of it myself, is tonight is the night that the clocks go back. And everybody should be changing the batteries in their smoke detectors.
Unless you got one that you don't have to change that anymore.
Unless you have one that don't have to change the batteries. Okay? So that's one of the things that I really want to make sure that I mention that because I'm trying to remind myself.
So you spring up though, about it.
Hmm?
You spring up. We lose the out.
Spring up?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, here, what we're gonna do, and most of the stuff you already know. As soon as anytime you come to a WHCR EBT activity, you sign in. If it's a deployment, you sign in and out. On arrival, you report to either the command post, site manager, or the incident commander. Always let somebody in authority know when stepping away, and make sure you give them a kind of a time when you're going to get back. Immediately report any sicknesses or injury. Use the buddy system, especially in unfamiliar and dangerous environments. Working around equipment here and in the environment that we'll be working with in communication, you're liable to be in working with equipment that you're not normally used to working with, or working with people that are working on equipment. So you may not be working on the equipment, but the person may be working on the equipment. And if you see an unsafe thing that that person is doing, you need to pull their coat. So one of the simple things that we all pretty much aware of is unplugging equipment before anybody work on it. So if you see a guy like Wally, because Wally got a habit of saying, "Oh, I can handle this," say, "No, Wally, go and shut the power down." And I'm very faulty at that, and I need to follow that rule myself. Do not let somebody else turn on and off your power. That can be very dangerous. Again, you may not be the person working on the equipment, but the person that's working on the equipment might be asking you to turn it off. It's best that you tell them, no, you come out from wherever you are, even if you got to come off the ladder, you got to come down two floors and turn it off yourself, and then go back up, and then come back down and turn it on yourself. That is the best way to do it. I've been in an incident myself where I almost killed a person because I got confused. He said turn it on, he said turn it off, I turned it on. We're talking about 440 volts. He would have been fried. So I'm very much with that. Okay, naturally, you hear all the time, hold the plug and not the cord when you're removing from the outlet. Don't cut off that middle ground plug on a device that you have. That ground plug makes it so that the chassis of that, whatever it is grounded. Because if you cut off that ground plug, then it's a possibility that you can touch that and get shot. Okay? Do not work on equipment when you're tired and sleepy. Do not work on equipment alone. Should always be somebody else around that if something happens, that somebody can go get help. Know where the main power switch is located. Make sure on ladders, make sure the ladder's fully open and level. Test each step before stepping on it. Keep 3 parts of your body on the ladder. That means 2 feet in one hand or 2 hands and 1 foot. Do not stand on the top rung of the ladder. Matter of fact, it's 2 rungs down that you should be the highest that you go. And if you can't reach it, then you need a higher ladder. Do not overreach. Don't try to reach out over a ladder. Next. Electrical shocks. Most dangerous shock is from hand to hand. In other words, you're standing here and you're touching something there and the electricity is going through there. Hand to hand, it doesn't take much of a volt to knock your heart out. So much current knock your heart out. 10 milliamps is not a lot. And that's a couple of batteries can give you 10 milliamps. And you don't want to try that with your hand. Matter of fact, they say if you a 9-volt battery can do that. Keep one hand in your pocket when working around live voltage. That way you don't risk that situation. Don't stand in water. Water is a good conductor of electricity. When coming up on a conscious person, always survey the situation first. Quickly assess what happened before taking any action. Because if the person is laying on an electric cable or touching an electric cable, and you go and you touch them trying to help them, you will be part of the problem, not the solution. Never touch a person when lying in contact with an electric line. Immediately send for help. Electrical burns. Somebody's unconscious, the first thing you want to do is send for help. Take life-saving action, rescue breathing, CPR. We're not going to get into that. That's down the road. Locate burns. Locate burns where electricity enters the body, like jewelry, a bulk buckle, or direct contact with electrical wire. Electrical burns you treat as a third-degree burn. Third-degree burn, some of the skin may be burned away, and some flesh may be charred. Growth cells that form new skin are destroyed. So that's the thing that you got to be careful of, because now it's not going to heal back. Do not use jellies, creams, greases, or sprays. It may relieve the pain. The person says, wow, that feels good, but it also may slow down the healing process. Now, you already possibly have destroyed some of the growth cells, and now you put some cream on there, which is now going to slow down whatever's left. Protect the burn by draping it with a clean, damp cloth. To relieve pain from small areas, you can apply an ice pack, cold cloths, or dip in the burn in cold water. Give the victim lots of water. Obtain medical help as quickly as possible. Okay. Pretty much, there's always a whole lot of other safety stuff that you can get into, but you know, we're not going to spend a day here. Now, the next part that we have, I don't know if you want to sit through. It's ICS. I mean, are you interested in it? And the reason why I'm telling her, she's a team chief. She knows it.
Okay.
So that's why. That's fine. Okay. So pretty much. Okay. Our next class will be radio operation, public information officer. In other words, now we're dealing with getting the word out. So what word is getting out? How you going to put it out? You know, that whole thing of actually doing the communication. What else we have next week? Public information.
Yeah, public information is started.
2 weeks worth of that. And you said radios.
And radio. And the last part of ICS. We have two weeks of ICS. Okay. So it's public information, radios, and ICS. Following week will be public information, radios, and I think social media. And then the following week after that, 6 weeks. And then the following week after that, how many public information?
2 weeks of public information starting next week.
Right. So then the next following week is social media. I think we'll be training with the radios, and then we want to start working over there. Start, getting some idea of what's happening over there. And the 5th week, we want to have an all-out exercise where we set up the EOC, set it up, and actually we already spoke to the show producers, so they all agreed that we can come in and be part of their show. So it'll be like we'll have people in the street, on the radios, and an actual what would I say, exercise going on.
So but it won't be like the War of the World with
No.
You'll be making announcements every now and then.
Yeah. But actually, what we plan to do, and we can might be able to use some of your help at that, is that we'll get the information in, but maybe the information that we're spreading out over the air, maybe some of y'all, you can talk about your team and, give them. In other words, we want the person to get used to talking over the air the way they would talk over the air. But the information that they're given, maybe you might talk about your team and try to recruit for your team or something like
Right,
that.
but you want to every now and then say, because people because it's over the air.
Yes.
So you want to, every
Well,
now and then get in there and say,
No, okay, so this is to answer it. Instead of causing, if we were to go that route, we would say this is just a test, right? But instead of doing that, to practice speaking, we'll not do an actual test, but provide information. So this will be an opportunity
Right.
for you to talk
Okay.
about CERT. We can
Mhm.
talk about the importance of a carbon monoxide
All right.
detector.
Okay,
We
good.
can talk about, going to the doctor, spring is in the air, pollen issues. And use another educational thing that, we don't have to say this is just a test, but it still is. It's practice
Okay,
on
good.
our end, but still providing information without
That
causing
sounds good.
confusion.
And so that's kind of the course in a nutshell. And then at the end, we basically would like everybody that took the course to kind of be part of the team. The team, the way we work, we're trying to get some more radios so that team members would have radios, and this way, if we got to call each other, we can function if the cells are not working. Also, when there's like a snow event or something like that, any kind of event, if whoever's available could come in and work. OEM has given us permission, like to actually work with your teams and stuff, because our radios have the search channels on them also.
So these are the same radios that some
No,
teams have?
No, we have the same channels. They gave us permission to use the channels.
Yeah.
So we have the same channels, but when we have our own channel.
But are these the same radios that some of the teams have?
No, these are radios we got.
No, but what I'm
Are
asking
they,
is,
do they look the same?
some of the
function the
teams
same?
have radios.
Yeah, no. Let me show you. I think I have one of the radios that you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so that would pretty much be the end of. Well, let me get the radio. That could be part of the
Because
course.
Wally, our team doesn't have radios, so we need to go get radios.
Yes. Hold on.
So
Well, you can get them through this situation.
I might as well kill two birds with one stone. Why should I get?
Practicing soon. See, Stuart, you had come to the meeting a little bit, the phone
This
conference,
is what you.
and I brought up what she said. I don't want to cause a panic, even if we say this is just a test.
Right.
Because what if it's the 2 minutes that we
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
say it was
yeah.
a test?
They
So
loan us
just
the
give
radio
good
phone.
information.
No, I think that's a
still.
great idea.
Yeah.
Information, just talk about the training, we can
They had a
recruit people
radio.
to the
Force. They
team.
only had two.
Okay, and then they gave
So I
out.
said, I know if I
They-
turned on the radio and I heard
Team,
something and I
went to
just
Upper
missed
East
it,
Side,
Yeah.
They report
it'd be
that.
like Chicken Little and.
You know about the thing that she talked about, the Martian invasion, right?
Okay.
Or you,
No.
you're young, you probably don't.
So
Uh-uh.
if you.
Back in the 30s,
I mean-
Orson Welles.
Oh, yeah, I do.
We're gonna expand this
Panic
where
the
this can
whole
even be
East
on.
Coast.
And that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
real panic.
yeah, it would be like Chicken Little.
Yeah.
The sky is falling, and
Yeah.
it was just a damn acorn.
Yeah.
Come down there and you get the radio, and just be part of our network, but you have the search channel. The search channel is on that radio. And then you have their channel
Their channel and
Right.
then your channel.
and our channel.
Stuart, should we turn?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
we're
it
done.
still broadcast?
Okay, so we're done.